Today we're back with a chemistry paper, which is May, June 2023, paper 22, which is the paper in my time zone. So let's get started. 4 physical changes of ethanol are listed. Physical changes. In which changes do the particles move further apart? So if we draw a solid, quick drawing, and a liquid, and a gas. So they're going to be moving further apart. As you see, they're literally touching each other here. Here they're able to slide over each other. Here they're not touching at all. So they're moving further apart. So in which changes? So from solid to liquid is melting, but it's not here. From liquid to gas, it's boiling and evaporation. So it's 2 and 4, which is C, because this condensation is this way, freezing is this way, so it's not these. Okay, an atom of element X contains 5 protons and 6 neutrons and 5 electrons. Okay, so which statement is it correct? So we need a periodic table. Let's just open up. Okay, same paper at the end, there should be a periodic table here. Sorry for it being sideways, but it is what it is. So 5 protons, 6 neutrons, 5 electrons, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boron. It is boron. So we found our element. Let's just write down everything about it. What group is it? Group 3. So the first statement is X has an atomic number of 6. So if we go here, we can see atomic number is 5, not 6. So it's not that one. It has a nucleon number of 11, which is correct. Nucleon number can be the same as saying mass number, which is 11, so 2 is correct. X is in group 2. Let's see. No, boron is in group 3, so no. X is in the second period. Hydrogen's the first period, and boron's in the second period, so yep. 2 and 4. D. Okay, 3. Ammonia NH3 is a covalent molecule which diagram shows the outer shell electron arrangement in a molecule of ammonia. So NH3. We know nitrogen is in group 5. Oops. Group 5. And hydrogen is in... Is it even in a group? Okay, whatever. Hydrogen just needs one more and to become stable, and nitrogen needs 3 more electrons. Hydrogen needs 1 more electron. So, which is the correct arrangement? Nitrogen will have 5 electrons in its outer shell. So, NH3, they all have 3 hydrogens, yes. And there should always be a double here because hydrogen needs double. So this is just wrong. This is wrong. And nitrogen has 5, so 1, 2, 3, that's wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's correct. And hydrogen has 1 each, so C is correct. What structure does silicon oxide most closely resemble? So silicon oxide, if you know the structure, it is a tetrahedron structure, which diamond also has. So correct answer is B. But it's due to this structure. Okay, substance P conducts electricity when solid. Which particles move in solid P so that it can conduct electricity? So it won't be ions, but it will be electrons. Because when it's solid, say it was an ionic compound, all the ions would be in fixed positions. But when you dissolve it, the ions become free to move, so then they can conduct electricity. But in a solid, the only thing that can move is electrons if it has a metallic structure. So I think it's 3 only. We'll check at the end, guys. Which equation represents a chemical change? Chemical change. So, let's see. This one just went from solid to liquid, so this is physical. This one went from aqueous to solid. Could be chemical. This one is just breaking into the ions, so it's not chemical, it's also physical. And this is just the ions becoming the solution, so I think it's also physical. The only actual chemical one is this one. Wait, let's see, because the state changes, so it should be like chemical. Yeah, wait. We'll see with the mark scheme, guys. I can be wrong. And this is just for you guys to just work through it, see my reason behind it. And you can also help me comment down below if I'm doing anything wrong, if you need just some explanation. But yeah, let's move on. Which sample contains the largest number of molecules? Ooh, so this we need to know formula. The formula is number of moles. Wait. Let's see. Okay, so I think this is the formula. Moles is the number of particles over Avogadro number. So it's asking which has the largest number of molecules. So which one has the largest? This one. So we can find the moles by, okay, wait, let's see. Moles equals mass over MR. Should know that. And we just calculate the moles for each one by dividing the mass with the MR. And then we'll times it with the Avogadro number to see which one has the largest number of particles. So for this one, the mass is 16 and the MR is, let's see, 12 plus 4. 16 MR is oxygen plus oxygen, which is 16 plus 16. This one is 16 divided by P. What is the MR of this? 31 times 4. And this one is, it's a gas. So to find gases for moles, we have this equation. Because if you see in the bottom, it says volume of one mole of any gas is 24 dm cubed. So find the mole, we divide the volume by 24. And it's just dm cube, it's 24, not 24,000. So if we do this, we should get our moles. Now it's just calculating. So this one will just be 1. This one is 16 divided by 16 plus 16. This is a half. This is 16 divided by 31 times 4. This one is 4 over 31. And the last one is 16 divided by 24, just 2 over 3. Now, if we remember the Avogadro's constant, which is 6.022 times 10 to the 23, we times each of them by that, and then whichever one has the largest value is your answer. So let's do that. This one will just be 6.022 times 10 to the 23. If we have this, it will be like 3.011. If we do 4 31s of that times 6.022 10 to the 23, 7.77. If we do 2/3, it's 4.01 10 to the 23. Okay, and this is 10 to the 22 though, so I think the largest one is actually A, and you'll see in the answers later. That's a lot for 1 mark, but let's keep going. Concentration of a sample of dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide is found by titration. Okay, concentration, yep. Apparatus used is shown. So HCl is in the burette. Let's just label it for revision purposes. This is conical flask. So which information is needed to calculate the concentration of the dilute aqueous sodium hydroxide? So we need a known volume of this NaOH. We need to know the volume. We need to know the concentration of HCl, volume of it used. Molar mass of HCl, we don't need to know that because we can actually calculate that by using this. So I don't think we need these, and the option is B. In experiment 1, aqueous copper sulfate is electrolyzed using graphite electrodes. Experiment 2, copper sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. So this will react. This is inert, so it won't react with the reaction happening in the electrolyte, but this will. So which statement identifies a half equation for reaction at one of the electrodes? So we can just write it out for both, but first let's work by elimination. So anode, you need anions, which is the negative one, so this works. You need cations here, which you have. You need anions here. This is not an anion, and this is not a cation. So we already eliminated C and D. And so in experiment 1, they're both with graphite. So we know that hydrogen will only come out when there's a more reactive metal, but copper is not more reactive, so I think the correct answer is A. Which substance is not produced during the electrolysis of concentrated aqueous sodium chloride? Which substance is not produced? We know chlorine is produced and hydrogen is produced because it goes out instead of the sodium because the sodium is more reactive and wants to stay in solution. So what is not produced? Sodium is not produced, but sodium hydroxide is because it stays in the solution with the OH. So we have NaCl, H plus, OH minus. These two come out, these two stay in. Methane burns in excess oxygen. Equation is shown. Bond energy is shown. What is the energy change for the reaction? So if we draw this out, okay, that's the first one. O2, we have two of these. They come out to be this and this, but two of them, so you have to be careful. So what is the energy change? We have 4 of CHs, which is this. We have 2 of O2s, which is this, and we're going to take it away from 2 of 8O5s, yep, which is also added with 4 of OHs. Yes, this seems correct. 11, it should be A. 12. Which change increases the rate of reaction by decreasing activation energy? It has to decrease activation energy. Decrease in size of the solid? No, this increases surface area. Increase in concentration? No, it increases molecule per unit volume. Increase in temperature doesn't decrease the activation energy, just increases the kinetic energy. Addition of a catalyst does decrease the activation energy, making it easier for particles to collide and react. In the contact process, sulfur dioxide is reacted with oxygen to form sulfur trioxide. So what are the conditions for the contact process? This is just pure memorization. It is 200 kilopascals, but it would be 200 atmospheres, I think. So let's see. And it's vanadium oxide. This is for Haber. So let's see. Which reaction is reversible? An iron nail rusting when... Nope, this is chemical. It should be reversible. Limestone reacting with acid to form carbon dioxide gas. I think once it's made, it's made. Magnesium burning, nope. The anhydrous one. If you add water and take out water, it will go from one reaction to the other. Equation for the reaction of sulfur dioxide with acidified potassium dichromate is shown. What is oxidized and what is the oxidizing agent? Okay, so oxidizing agent will get reduced itself. So let's see. If we look at the oxidation numbers, we can work out. So when something's oxidized, oxidation number will increase. So we have this option, and this one has 0. And when it comes here, it becomes less. Actually decreases, so it can't be this. And for this one, 07, 0, this would be 0. And then for this, it increases. So it should be this. And for oxidizing agent, the H plus, it becomes 0. So this decreased, so it could be this. And I think it's this. It's, C. Okay, let's move on. Wait, I'm a little bit confused because SO2, 0. To become 2 minus, it has to gain electrons in oxidation. Oil rig. Wait, no, oxidation is loss of electrons. So, and this is actually not reduced. This one is actually oxidized. So I think we're getting this a bit wrong. We'll see the answer. I actually don't understand this question, so if you could help me out, please do in the comments. What is the definition for a strong acid? Proton acceptor that completely dissociates. It's not a proton acceptor, it's a proton donor that completely, so it's C. Proton acceptors are bases or alkalis. Which statement about amphoteric oxide is correct? They react with both acids and bases. Yep. That is the main property of them. Copper carbonate is formed when aqueous sodium carbonate is added to aqueous copper nitrate. Ionic equation for the reaction is shown. How is pure copper carbonate obtained from the reactions mixture? Okay. And this forms a solid, so it has to filter it, then wash it, then dry it, because we don't need to evaporate anything. Okay. Q and R are elements in the same period of the periodic table. Q has 7 electrons in its outer shell, and R has 2. Same period, 7 and 2. Which statement about Q and R is correct? 7 electrons in its outer shell. That means it's in group 7. And R has 2 electrons. That means it's in group 2. Okay, Q is a metal. No, R would be a metal. Q and R have different number of electron shells. No, because they're in the same period. R is found to the right. R is group 2, so it's to the left. No. Proton number of R is less than proton number of Q. Proton number of R, let's see. What is this? 7 electrons in its outer shell. 2 electrons. Could be anything. But 9, well, out of elimination, it is D. Lead sulfate is an insoluble salt. Which reaction produces a mixture from which lead 2 sulfate is obtained by filtration? Filtration, so it has to be solid afterwards. And it's an insoluble salt. So we just need 2 of these to actually make lead sulfate. Adding aqueous lead nitrate to dilute sulfuric acid, yes, this would work. It would make lead sulfate. Adding solid lead, no, solid, it just won't. If you want to make a precipitate, it has to be sol plus sol to make an insol. So just others don't work. Which statement about alkali metals is correct? Lithium is more dense than sodium. Sodium is more reactive than potassium. This is no. Sodium has a higher melting point than potassium. Higher melting point. I think that's true, actually. Lithium is more dense? No. I doubt it. They're all in group 2. No. I think it's C. Which rule describes the properties of a transition element? Melting point is high. Density is high. Form colored compounds, yes. B. Which rule identifies properties of zinc? Zinc is a transition metal, in fact. So thermal conductivity should be good. Reacts with dilute acid. Dilute is a bit of an overstretch here, but it should actually. So I'll go with A. Uses of metal depend on their properties. Which property is necessary for the use given? For car bodies, it has to be ductile, yes. Shouldn't conduct heat if it's cutlery, you don't want to get burnt. Food containers should resist corrosion. Overhead electrical cable should not be high density. So for car bodies, ductile may not be the way because you actually want it to be strong. Food containers should actually resist corrosion. Which compound both contribute to acid rain? Which compounds both contribute to acid rain? So it's sulfur dioxide for sure, oxides of nitrogen too. It's these two for sure. Nitrogen oxide and sulfur dioxide are really big reasons for acid rain. P, Q, R, and S are metals. P reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, forming hydrogen. Q reacts violently with water. R reacts with water to give hydrogen. And S is formed by heating. It's oxide with carbon. And it wants to put it in order of reactivity. P reacts with, not reactivity, just which metal is it? But it does involve reactivity. Q reacts violently with water, so it has to be group 1. I feel like it's potassium. P reacts with dilute hydrochloric acid, forming hydrogen. Has to be a metal, or they're all metals. Okay, R reacts with water to give hydrogen. Sodium for sure. S is formed by heating oxide with carbon. So yeah, you can actually heat zinc with carbon because it's below. So it just gives us D. Iron does react with dilute hydrochloric acid and should form hydrogen. Which compound is formed when iron rusts? It should be hydrated and it would be an oxide, so it's D. Why is cryolite used in the extraction of aluminium by electrolysis? It protects it? No. Actually helps it dissolve and lowers the melting point. A wax candle is made from a mixture of hydrocarbons. Candle is lit and placed in a jar along with a strip of cobalt chloride test paper. Okay, after a short time, the oxygen in the jar used up and the candle flame goes out. Oh, so what is the substance does the cobalt chloride paper identify as? So initially, I think the color doesn't even give us the color. Which substance does the cobalt chloride paper identify? Oh, I think it identifies, if it's combustion, oxygen, it should be A or B. But I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh, cobalt chloride. This is actually a test for water. It could be testing for water because I saw this. Then there's cobalt chloride and there's one more test that goes from blue to pink. But yes, I think it's a D. Because if it's cobalt chloride, then it has to be something to do with water. Cobalt. Okay, the hydrocarbon C4H8 two structural isomers, but1ene and but2ene, which is the correct statement. But2ene has a structural formula. 1, 2, well, it can't be these because this is 2 enes. And okay. And the same empirical formula as ethene. Does it have the same empirical formula or general formula? I feel like it's oh wait, never mind. These are asking us about but1ene, in which case the structure is valid. It should be the same general formula and the same empirical formula, so I think we crossed out C and D for no reason. Brute 1E has the structural formula, yep, it can have. Same general formula, yep. Right, but it's asking which statement is correct, and I got like 3 correct. But Brute 1E has the structural formula and same empirical formula as ethene. Probably not. Which compound rapidly decolorizes in aqueous bromine? Unsaturated. It has to be, so no anes, it has to be an ene. 31D matches. This still seems wrong. Okay. Butene has the structural formula of this. Okay. Same empirical formula. I don't think it has the same empirical formula because it's different. So I'll go with B. What are the products of addition reactions of ethene with bromine and hydrogen? Oh, it's ethene. So, bromine and hydrogen. CH3, CH3, yeah, this looks right. Actually looks right. And bromine, I think this looks right. So let's see what the next question is. I think I'll just go with A. Ethanol is manufactured by fermentation and catalytic addition of steam to ethane, which row describes an advantage of both methods. So, ethanol is manufactured by fermentation and the catalytic addition of steam to ethene. Okay, which row describes an advantage of both methods? So, for this one, I think it's renewable resources because it's slow is not an advantage. It's a batch process, so it's not continuous. Not an advantage, and it has to be purified, so it's not an advantage. Process is continuous. That is an advantage, but it doesn't match. Comes from petroleum, not an advantage. Not renewable. Process is rapid, yeah, probably an advantage. And pure ethanol is produced, probably an advantage. I'd go with D. Methanoic acid and propan-1-ol react to form an ester. What is the structural formula of the ester? So methanoic acid and propanol. So I believe the structure is like this: 1, 2, 3, and it would just be meth. So it's just 1, and it would be like H here, and just H's everywhere. So there would be CH3, which is this part, CH2, and COOH. This looks right. This is the only one that matches. Let's keep going. Correct structure of PET. What is PET? Let's recap. PET is polyethylene terephthalate, which is its full name, but the only part we need to focus on is its polyethylene. So it's going to be made from a dicarboxylic acid and a diol to give a ester group. So we're going to have this group and this group, and then it will come together to make this thing. So let's look for that. Let's look for the ones with this in it. Not this, because it has like it's not even complete. This is not it. It is not it. It has to be this. 35 has to be B. 36. Alkanes undergo substitution reaction in the presence of UV light. Yep. Which equation represents a substitution reaction of ethane? So ethane, it's going to be C. What's the formula? The formula is CnH2n plus 2. So they're all the same, and it should be plusing chlorine if they're going to use UV light, and it should form, if it's substitution, it will actually form an HCl. So now it's just seeing if it's balanced or not. 2 here, 4 here, 2 plus 4 is 6. 5 here, 1 here, that's also 6 though. But there's no Cl here, so I believe it's B. We can just eliminate these because this one is first of all HCl. And then this one is, I don't think it's been balanced properly. And if it was substituted, there would be 1 here. Can't be this one too then. Okay. Methane reacts with chlorine in substitution reactions. How many different products containing a single carbon atom can be made during the reactions? So, it reacts with chlorine in substitution reactions. Different products containing a single carbon atom can be made. Well, you can make the substitution thing with chloride. You can make HCl. You can make with a single carbon atom. This is what's throwing me off. I actually don't know. I think I'm just going to guess, but I don't know. Let's just leave it and ask an expert or have you guys answer it. Rock salt is a mixture of raw sand and salt. Method used to separate it is crush the rock, pour the mixture, evaporate the water. So which statement about the method is correct? Filtrate and step 2 is pure water. Draw filter paper. No, it can't be. Residue in step 2 is pure crystals of salt. Nope, it would be sand. The solute is salt. Sounds right. Solvent is a mixture of salt and water. Yeah, also sounds right. Both of them sound right. Which one do I pick? Solvent. It's probably mixed with more other small particles, so I think this is the most accurate. Last question. Oh, second to last question. 2 compounds M and N are dissolved, separated by chromatography. What is the value of RF of M? Okay, of M. So we're gonna do the distance traveled by the solute and distance traveled by the solvent. So it should be 2 divided by 10, which is 0.2. And the most soluble is N because it traveled the furthest. But RF value of M is 0.2. B. Okay. B should have been B. Last question. When an acid is added to salt X, a gas is produced, and which turns lime water milky. So it has to be CO2 produced here. When sodium hydroxide is added to salt X, gas is produced which turns litmus paper blue. This is ammonia. What is X? So it has to be carbon dioxide and ammonia. I think it's B, because this one has nothing to do with ammonia. This has ammonia, but not carbon dioxide. This had carbon dioxide, but not ammonia, so it has to be B. Now let's check our answers. Let's see how we did. Oh, B, B, C, C, B, B, A, D. Oh, it's C. If you know, please tell me. B, B, A, D. 34 is A. What? Is it just the other way around? C, H, C, O, O, C. Oh, wait. No, but meth is 1. And this is 3. Wait, 1, 1. Oh. This is part of 1, and this is... Oh, we just have this weird C hanging around here. I see. Okay. 33. D. A, D. Let's see. A, D, D, C, C, A, B. 30. Wait, no, where are we? 30 is B. And then D. And now we're on the A. A, D, D, C, C, A, B. A, D, D, C, C, A, B. Now we're on C, D, D, D. Okay. C, D, D, D. Yep. 17. C, C, A, D, C. CC. Oh, this is A. If you know this one, tell me. A, DC. 12, A, C, A, C, A. 8, B, A, B. A, B. 15, oh, sorry, 5, DBC, DC. Oh, DBC, C, DC. Okay, that was an interesting paper. Let's see how many we actually got wrong. So we got 1 wrong, 2 wrong, and I think we got 1 more wrong. 3 wrong. 3 wrong. 37 out of 40. Okay, guys, well, that's all for today. If you found it helpful, like, comment, subscribe, and peace out.